Gentlemen, if you've been eating garlic for heart health, I need you to stop immediately. Not because garlic is bad, but because you've been using it completely wrong. There's a 60-second preparation method that transforms garlic from a basic kitchen ingredient into a circulation powerhouse that can restore blood flow to every part of your body, including the parts that matter most to your manhood. Miss this step, and you're leaving 80% of garlic's potency on the cutting board. I am Dr. Mei Anderson, and what I'm about to share has helped men in their 70s and 80s regain firmness they thought was gone forever. Without pills, without prescriptions, and often within days. Here's what you need to know right now. Raw garlic contains a compound called allicin, the most powerful natural vasodilator on Earth. It opens your blood vessels wider than almost any food or supplement. But here's the catch. Allicin doesn't exist in whole garlic. It only forms when garlic is crushed and left to sit for exactly 10 minutes before you consume it. That 10-minute window is when enzymes called alliinase convert the inactive compounds into active allicin. Skip this step, and you're just eating sharp-tasting vegetables with maybe 15% of the benefit. Most men crush garlic and immediately cook it, or swallow whole cloves thinking they're getting the benefits. You're not. Heat destroys alliinase instantly. The moment that garlic hits a hot pan, the enzyme dies and the chemical reaction stops before it even begins. Swallowing whole cloves means the garlic passes through your system before the chemical reaction even happens. Your stomach acid doesn't activate allicin the way air exposure does. But when you crush it, wait 10 minutes, then consume it raw or add it to food after cooking. That's when the magic happens. That's when blood flow surges, nitric oxide production jumps, and your body starts working like it did 20 years ago. Now, why should you trust me on this? I am Dr. Mei Anderson. I've spent 25 years specializing in men's health, and I know what you're thinking. What does a woman know about what I'm going through? Fair question. Here's my answer. I've sat across from over 3,000 men in their 60s, 70s, and 80s who trusted me enough to share what they wouldn't tell their own doctors. The shame of avoiding intimacy. The fear that their wife thinks it's her fault. The quiet panic when even morning firmness stops showing up. The frustration of trying everything and feeling like nothing works. I didn't just study men's health in textbooks. I learned it from men like you, one conversation at a time. And what I discovered is this. Most of you have been told your problems are just aging. But when I run the tests, when I look at circulation markers, nitric oxide levels, and endothelial function, I see men whose bodies are starving for the right nutrients at the right time. Garlic, prepared correctly, is one of the most powerful tools nature gave us. And the men who use it right see changes that shock even me. Let me be direct with you. Weak erections and low energy aren't isolated problems. They're your body's early warning system. When blood flow to your pelvis starts failing, it's the canary in the coal mine. Your arteries there are smaller and more sensitive than the ones feeding your heart and brain. So if circulation is struggling there, it's struggling everywhere. You just don't feel the heart attack or stroke warning yet. I've seen too many men ignore this, thinking it's just my sex life, I can live without it. Then 2 years later, they're on blood pressure medications, dealing with type 2 diabetes, or recovering from a cardiac event. The truth? Poor circulation doesn't just kill intimacy. It kills energy, mental clarity, and eventually, it kills you earlier than it should. Every time your heart struggles to pump blood efficiently, every time your brain doesn't get adequate oxygen, every time your muscles can't flush out waste products because circulation is poor, you're aging faster than you need to. But here's what gives me hope. When you restore circulation naturally, and garlic is one of the fastest ways to do it, you're not just fixing performance. You're protecting your heart, your brain, your lifespan. That's why this matters. This isn't vanity. This is survival with dignity. And gentlemen, you deserve both. Let me tell you about Thomas. He was 68 when he first came to my office. Retired engineer, sharp mind, but he looked defeated. He told me he hadn't had a firm erection in over 2 years. He'd tried the pills, they worked sometimes, but the side effects made him dizzy and gave him blinding headaches. His wife, Linda, had stopped initiating intimacy, not because she didn't want him, but because she could see how much it hurt his pride when his body didn't cooperate. Thomas said something I'll never forget. "Doc, I feel like I'm disappearing. My body doesn't listen to me anymore, and my wife is pretending not to notice. I'd rather feel like a man and die young than live 20 more years feeling like this." When I ran his blood work, his cholesterol was high, his blood pressure was creeping up, and his nitric oxide levels, the molecule that controls blood vessel dilation, were nearly flatlined. His circulation was struggling. But here's what caught my attention. Thomas loved cooking. He used garlic in almost every meal, but he was doing it wrong. He'd crush it, toss it straight into hot oil, and cook it immediately. Every single time. He thought he was getting all the benefits because he was using fresh garlic, not realizing that his timing was destroying the very compound that makes garlic so powerful. I asked him to try something different. Just one change. Crush your garlic. It's like the difference between taking a vitamin and actually absorbing it. Your body can only use what's chemically ready. Think of it this way. When you cook garlic immediately after crushing it, you're destroying the enzyme before it can do its job. It's like trying to bake bread without letting the dough rise. You get something that looks right but doesn't deliver the result you wanted. That 10-minute wait is your rise time. It's when the transformation happens. It's when ordinary garlic becomes medicinal garlic. And most people never give it that chance. Alright, here's exactly how to use garlic to restore circulation and energy. This is what I gave Thomas, and it's what I recommend to every man over 60 who walks into my office. Every evening with dinner, take 2 to 3 fresh garlic cloves. Peel them, crush them with the flat side of a knife, and leave them exposed on your cutting board for exactly 10 minutes. Set a timer. During this window, allicin is forming. After 10 minutes, you can chop it finer if you want, but the critical reaction has already happened. The allicin is now stable and ready to enter your system. You have 2 options for consumption. Option 1, eat it raw. Mix the crushed garlic into a tablespoon of olive oil, add a pinch of salt, and consume it like a shot. It's intense, but it works fastest. The oil helps your body absorb the fat-soluble compounds in garlic, while protecting your stomach lining from irritation. Option 2. Add it to your food after cooking. Make your pasta, your soup, your stir-fry, whatever you're having. Turn off the heat, wait 30 seconds for the pan to cool slightly, then stir in your activated garlic. You'll preserve most of the allicin while making it more palatable. The key is that the food must be below 140 degrees Fahrenheit when you add the garlic, because that's the temperature at which alliinase starts to break down. Do this daily for at least 3 weeks. That's how long it takes for your endothelial cells, the inner lining of your blood vessels, to start regenerating and producing more nitric oxide naturally. Some men feel changes within days. More morning energy, better mental focus, even spontaneous morning firmness. But the real transformation happens when you make it a ritual. Your body begins to expect and respond to the daily influx of circulation-boosting compounds. One warning. Garlic thins your blood slightly, which is usually beneficial for circulation. But if you're on blood thinners like warfarin, clopidogrel, or even daily aspirin therapy, check with your doctor first. For most men, though, this is one of the safest, most powerful circulation boosters you'll ever find. There are no dangerous side effects, no She said their relationship had become closer than it had been in a decade, not just physically but emotionally. They were talking more, laughing more, making plans together again. And here's what really gets me. Thomas's blood pressure dropped 12 points. His cholesterol improved. His doctor was stunned and asked what he'd changed. Thomas just smiled and said, "I've been eating more garlic." His doctor didn't press further, but Thomas told me later he wished more doctors would take nutrition seriously instead of just reaching for the prescription pad. I've seen this pattern dozens of times now. Men who thought they were too far gone discover that their bodies were just waiting for the right signal. And garlic, prepared correctly, is one of the loudest signals you can send. Your body remembers how to perform. It just needs the raw materials to do so. But I want to be honest with you about what this isn't. This isn't a miracle cure that works for every man in every situation. If you have severe vascular disease, if your arteries are significantly blocked, garlic alone won't reverse that. You'll need medical intervention. But for the vast majority of men over 60 whose circulation is simply declining due to age, poor diet and nutrient deficiencies, this protocol can make a profound difference. It addresses the root cause, poor nitric oxide production and sluggish blood flow, rather than just masking symptoms. I also want you to understand that consistency matters more than intensity. Taking 10 cloves of garlic one day, and then skipping a week won't work. Your body needs a steady supply of allicin to maintain elevated nitric oxide levels. Think of it like watering a garden. You can't flood it once and expect growth. You need regular, consistent hydration. The same principle applies here. Another patient of mine, a gentleman I'll call Robert, was 73 when he started this protocol. He'd been struggling with low energy and poor circulation for years. He told me, "Doc, I wake up tired. I go to bed tired. I feel like I'm just existing, not living." His wife had started doing everything around the house because he was always exhausted. He felt like a burden. After 4 weeks on the garlic protocol, he came back and said, "I'm walking 2 miles every morning now. I haven't done that in a decade. And my wife says I'm more present. I didn't realize how much I'd checked out until I checked back in." That's what restored circulation does. It doesn't just affect one area of your life. It cascades through everything. Your energy, your mood, your relationships, your sense of self. When blood flows freely, life flows freely. Your brain gets more oxygen, so you think more clearly. Your muscles get more nutrients, so you have more stamina. Your heart doesn't have to work as hard, so you feel less fatigued. Everything improves when circulation improves. Now I know some of you are concerned about the smell. Fair concern. Garlic breath is real. Here's what I tell my patients. Chew fresh parsley after consuming garlic. Parsley contains chlorophyll, which neutralizes the sulfur compounds that cause garlic breath. A small sprig chewed thoroughly makes a noticeable difference. You can also drink a glass of milk or eat a small piece of lemon. Both help reduce the odor. Some men brush their teeth immediately after consuming garlic, which helps with mouth odor but doesn't address the smell that comes from your lungs as your body processes the compounds. But here's what I've found. Most men who see results stop caring about the smell. When you wake up with morning firmness for the first time in years, when your wife looks at you with desire again, when you feel like yourself, a little garlic breath becomes irrelevant. Thomas told me, "Linda says I smell like garlic sometimes, but she's smiling when she says it. I'll take that trade any day." Let me also address the elephant in the room. Some of you are thinking, if this is so simple, why didn't my doctor tell me about it? The answer is complicated. Most mainstream doctors are trained to prescribe medications, not nutritional protocols. They have 15 minutes with you, they see a problem, and they reach for the prescription pad. That's the system, not necessarily the doctor. Medical school teaches pharmacology extensively, but often gives only a few hours to nutrition. Doctors aren't being malicious. They're working within a framework that prioritizes pharmaceutical interventions. Garlic doesn't have a pharmaceutical company behind it running ads and funding studies. There's no profit motive to educate doctors about it. But the research is there. The mechanisms are understood. And the results, when you talk to men who actually use it correctly, are undeniable. I've had patients whose cardiologists were amazed at their improved circulation markers, whose urologists couldn't explain the sudden return of function. And I know it's because they finally gave their bodies what they needed. I want to give you one more piece of the puzzle. Garlic works even better when combined with regular movement. You don't need to run marathons. A 20-minute walk after dinner, when your garlic is being absorbed, amplifies the circulatory benefits. Movement increases nitric oxide production on its own, and when you stack it with allicin, the effects multiply. Your blood vessels dilate further, your heart pumps more efficiently, and the compounds from garlic reach every corner of your body more effectively. Thomas started walking with Linda after dinner. They'd never done that before. He said it became their favorite part of the day, just talking, holding hands, moving together. That simple addition turned a good protocol into a transformative lifestyle change. They started noticing things in their neighborhood they'd never paid attention to before. They felt connected again, not just to each other but to life itself. I also recommend eating foods rich in L-arginine and L-citrulline alongside your garlic protocol. These are amino acids that your body converts into nitric oxide. Foods like watermelon, spinach, nuts, and legumes are excellent sources. When you combine garlic with these foods, you're creating a synergistic effect, everything working together to flood your system with circulation-boosting compounds. It's not necessary for the garlic to work, but it accelerates and amplifies the results. But even if you don't change anything else, even if you just add the properly prepared garlic, you'll likely notice a difference. That's how powerful this single intervention can be. I've had men tell me they changed nothing else in their routine, and still saw dramatic improvements within a month. Before we wrap up, I want to address something important. Some of you watching this feel ashamed. You feel embarrassed that you're even searching for this information. You feel like less of a man because your body isn't cooperating. I need you to hear this. There is no shame in wanting to feel vital. There is no shame in seeking solutions. The shame belongs to a medical system that treats aging as inevitable decline instead of addressing the root causes. You are not broken. Your body is responding to years of poor circulation, nutrient deficiencies, and habits that weren't serving you. But your body is also remarkably resilient. Given the right inputs, it can heal. It can restore. It can perform. I've seen it thousands of times, and I believe it can happen for you. The men who succeed are the ones who stop accepting decline as inevitable and start taking action, even small action, to reclaim their vitality. Gentlemen, if Thomas's story resonated with you, if you've been feeling invisible, or like your body is betraying you, I want you to do two things right now. First, subscribe to this channel. Here's why. Next week, I'm releasing a video about 3 foods you've been told are heart healthy that are secretly destroying your testosterone and circulation. Foods your doctor probably recommended. Foods sitting in your kitchen right now. If you don't know what they are, you could be undoing every benefit of garlic and wonder why nothing's working. Don't let that happen. Hit subscribe so you don't miss it. Second, if this video helped you, if you learned something that could change your life, click the like button and share this with a friend. I know it sounds simple, but here's the truth. There are thousands of men your age suffering in silence, too embarrassed to ask for help. If you share this video, you might be the reason another man gets his confidence back. You might save a marriage. You might even save a life. That's not dramatic. That's just the reality of what circulation problems lead to when they're ignored. And remember, weak erections are not a sign of old age. They're a sign of poor strategy. Fix the strategy, and you can revive performance at nearly any age. Age doesn't define your vitality. Your choices do. Tonight, you have the power to crush 2 cloves of garlic, wait 10 minutes, and start sending your body a signal it's been desperate to hear. Don't wait. Don't overthink it. Just start. I'm Dr. Mei Anderson, and I'll see you in the next video, where we're going to talk about those 3 healthy foods that are silently stealing your manhood. You won't want to miss this. Until then, take action. Your body is ready when you are.